Hey guys, and welcome to the Take 3 Reactors Summit. This week, we are going over the championship week matches. We know it was last week, but we really don't care. We were kind of busy, and so we're going to cover it this week, and that's all that matters. We're also going to be covering the Innergeekdom 5-way match that happened, and the match between Dale the Dude versus Ben Bateman. It should be a really great summit. Can't wait to talk about it. Let's go. All right, guys, thanks for joining us. We got a lot to cover this week, and we have a really great panel to talk about it. Joining me for this week's summit are two people who pretty much join me for every summit, I think, at this point. But we got Malcolm. How's it going, Malcolm?
Pretty good. It's naughty and just ready to talk about the Schmoedown, so.
Perfect. We also have Matt Kearns. How's it going, Matt?
Good. Thanks for the intro. It seems as if like you're just tired of us at this point. You're like, well, the two people who are always joining me. Oh, we see how it is, Kristen. You done with us?
Maybe I'm just showing my appreciation that you guys show up to record things and no one else does.
See, that's the thing. See, people, this is why I don't host things, because I'm a jerk.
True.
Yeah,
this is why I host things, because I'm not a jerk. I don't know. All right. Well, we do have a lot to talk about, so we're going to try and get through everything. And we do know that there are some big topics to talk about, so we're going to try and do everything in a fairly orderly fashion.
Don't worry, we can spin it any way we want to. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's going to be an interesting one. But we are going to start out the summit this week with Rachel versus Sam. So that was the singles titles match. Now this one was one I was really looking forward to. Either way, it was going to be interesting for me because Rachel is one of my favorite competitors and Sam is on my fantasy team. So does my favorite competitor win or do I get all the fantasy points? Obviously, I got all the points. So that's nice for me, but not so nice for Rachel. So that was disappointing. But to talk about this match, we're just going to throw it over to Matt. Matt, what were your thoughts about the Rachel versus Sam title match?
Listen, I thought this was a really good match. I know I saw in the people were very mixed on how they felt about this. I thought Rachel and Sam both actually played great games. I think the problem is, and this is just my problem. I mean, you look at Schmoedown matches however you want, but some people don't look at the full game when one round is kind of an uneven round. They kind of just choose to focus on that. And yes, let's just get out of the way. Sam has had a lot more experience in speed rounds. He has been in a lot more title matches. Rachel hasn't. And Christian went to Twitter and to Facebook and talked about the speed round is kind of part of what makes the Schmoedown a game. You kind of have to be quick to the buzzer. Overall, I think Rachel has nothing to be disappointed about. She just got some bad luck, but I feel like she, can easily come back and challenge Sam again or whoever is holding the belt when she gets back up there. So overall, and you know what? It pains me to say this. Congrats to Sam for breaking Mark Riley's record and now holding the most back-to-back wins. Good work.
Obviously, Matt's a little disappointed that, that Sam is now kind of like the guy to beat in terms of records for singles. But you know what? He doesn't have as many records as Dan Murrell yet, so he's still got a ways to go.
That's true.
Not everyone can be Dan Murrell. Malcolm, what did you think about this match?
This was a good match. I kind of knew it was going to be close because, last year Sam's proven why he deserves to be champion. And, yes, he's had so much experience at the speed round, but, I mean, Rachel's had a bit of experience because in the old style of the Innergeekdoms, they had the speed round thing as well, which she did have a base off for Jeremy, but she hasn't had much of recent times anyway. But I mean, it was kind of expected. I wanted Rachel to win, but I mean, she can easily get back there because Emma's still got her card to play to give someone a title match. So who knows who she's going to give it to? So
yeah, it's true. I mean, and the thing about Rachel is she bounces back. like she can have a bad match and then the next thing she does is win something for a different competition or, you know, in the same league. So she bounces back really fast, and she also, you know, she just takes time to reflect on the loss and to grow from it and to learn from it, which not a lot of competitors, I feel like, do as effectively as she does, because you don't see her make a lot of the same mistakes twice. You know, if she makes a mistake in one round, she realizes what it is and then tries not to do it again. And she also realizes where she needs to study. So she's a very smart competitor in terms of how she views the game and how she plays the game. And I also think that, you know, the fact that she hasn't really had to do a speed round like that for singles, you know, that's a big you know, reason why she didn't do as well. And Sam has had a lot of opportunity to practice that speed round. So it's all about, you know, who's had the practice on it and who hasn't. Unfortunately, he did. And if you look at the final scores, it was 22-21. It was a TKO, but 21 points for a singles match is still a lot of points. So there is nothing wrong with her match. Both her and Sam up till that speed round were pretty much perfect. So it was pretty much the definition of what I would like a title match to be. Real close, real competitive, and both competitors are just there giving their 100% to the game. I thought it was a really, really great match. I thought it couldn't have gone much better for just a person watching the match. Moving on to the next championship match, which maybe is like the complete opposite thought of that. You know, you have one of the most looked forward to matches of like all time between Top 10 and the Patriots for the title, and there is a lot of heat going back and forth between these guys and between fans, and we all know how it ended. It was something else. We're gonna try and talk about this and not talk about it too long, because I feel like we could talk an entire hour just about this match. But we're gonna just talk about our general thoughts and obviously the controversy, because it did happen. Malcolm, what were your thoughts about this match in general? And then, you know, give us a quick summary of what you thought about that controversy this week.
Yeah, well, I mean, this match, it was very competitive. I mean, like, it's two teams which have battled for the title for about 3 times. I mean, it feels like it's been 50 million matches between each other, but yeah, like, I wanted Top 10 to beat the Patriots, but with the dominance the Patriots have been of late, I did not think it was going to happen. And the controversy, and like Christian touched on it for the interview, and I agree with all his points. So, I mean, I do feel that they should have, like, as Christian even said, like, in hindsight, he should have just taken the points and moved on. But I feel the respin, it was the next thing that made sense, because it gives both teams a chance to maybe get a strength or something. And it came this close to getting to Westons again anyway. And just giving another questions and Westons, like what a lot of people were saying should have happened, wouldn't have been fair to the Patriots, because Roker was the one that stuffed up. He knew the rules better than everyone else. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's all perspective. It's all where everyone's coming from on this. And there's going to be a lot of agreeing and disagreeing that happens in terms of your personal opinion on each of these kind of things. But it is what it is. Matt, what did you think about this one?
You know, this was an interesting match, to say the least. You know, this is the third time that the Patriots and Top 10 had battled for the belts. There was a lot going into the match, and, you know, Top 10, they were having a pretty good game, and the Patriots were having a pretty dominant game, and then we get to the betting round. We're not going to try to focus too much on this, because, again, we're doing this like a week later. It's been talked about to death. So just my quick thoughts are, in the heat of the moment, I could see maybe where the idea for respinning came from, but They probably shouldn't have. They probably should have just went to the next question. You know, then again, also, Roka, I love you. You're someone who has played the game more than anyone. You should have known that that answer on the board was not going to be taken. Now, in fairness, what he said was true. It's not like the Patriots answered Jane Fonda and then he said Jane Fonda, and was like, oh, but it still is, it's become a meme, but it still is looking at the board as a fan and as a Roka fan and every fan, I just go, you were stretching for that one. So listen, I wasn't there. They made the choice that they wanted to make, and it just didn't work out in top 10's favor. That is what it is. And it stinks that the Patriots defense, this is their second controversial defense. Actually, technically, it could be the third, because a lot of people say Trek was as well controversial, which it was. So I do enjoy the Patriots. I do enjoy that we have such a dominant, like, everyone likes to talk about Dan Murrell made the singles belt something. The Patriots have done that, I think, more than Dan Murrell did for the team belts, but the fact that this is the third time that a win of theirs is controversial, it's starting to make me feel like, when is the run going to end? When is luck not going to work in their favor? And right now, it's working in their favor pretty well, so we just have to wait and see. Overall, it was a fine match, but it wasn't a barn burner like I think a lot of us were hoping it was going to be.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't the match that I expected. Now, I don't know that I expected top 10 to win. Like, I certainly wanted them to win, but it wasn't a surefire thing at all. Because the Patriots, as much as people don't like them and think that it would be nice to have someone else hold the belt, are a very effective team. They play well together. They play well off of each other. And they do know a lot, especially in the terms of, like, they both have similar strengths, and then they have certain ones that they can, like, piece out. Like Snyder has ones that he's very good at that JTE isn't, and the opposite. And so there's enough similarity that they do well in round one, and there's enough diversity that they do very well in round two. So they're a very hard team to beat. And especially, like, they were on point this match. They had an almost perfect match. Round one, they had 11 points for round one, and round two, their total score was at 23 points. So they're already in, almost in the mid 20s at that point, and they're just coming out of round two. That's a very good 2 rounds for any team. And that in a lot of matches would just win the match. So it's not easy to beat these guys. I did expect a little bit more from top 10. They came out of round one with a bit of a deficit. They came out of round two with more of a deficit. And then obviously that betting round. So this is one of the things that, John is one of the best competitors in the league, but he also has a very easy button to push. If he can get riled up or distracted in a match, then he pretty much will lose that match. And that's heartbreaking to say, because I think he is someone who offers a lot to the league and should win more matches than he does. But he gets inside of his own head, and then he can't get back into the match. And then you just kind of see him missing things he should get, and not thinking critically enough to get things that maybe if he had thought a little bit harder, he would have. And so that's kind of where this match went for me. He got into his own head, and there's no going back for him. Once that happens, it's just done. So unfortunately, it just wasn't the match I wanted to see. But it was good for talking points, because obviously that controversy was something else. I do think that this is a great opportunity for Christian and Thad and Mark and everyone involved to kind of finite these rules and to go through and say, in the past, we've been more lenient. If someone is the first one to answer the question correctly out loud and their board is either misspelled or hard to read, sometimes they would have given them that point. In this case, they didn't, and obviously that's where the controversy came through. In terms of them spinning the wheel, I disagree with having to respin that category. There are always backup questions available for these games, and so there was at least a second Westerns question they could have drawn on. And in my opinion, they should have just said, okay, we're going to throw that one out, redo the second one, because if the rules aren't clear, throw it out, do another one instead of respinning the wheel. It is what it is. I understand why they made the decision that they did make, but obviously because they did that, it really ended up being a match that wasn't as satisfying in the second half as the first half was, because I think the first half was a great match, and then as soon as Roca started getting in his own head, it just became something that it was very painful for me to watch. So I'm glad it seems like he's him and Snyder on Twitter are still going at it, but it seems like it's a little bit less personal. It seems like it's a little bit more back into the K-pop area. And so I'm glad that it seems like things are kind of working out and that they both have calmed down a little bit. So that's really good. But that's our thoughts on Championship Week. A great week in terms of matches and a interesting week in terms of controversy. So we're moving on to the next week, where we started out with the Innergeekdom 5-way. Now, we had a lot of really cool competitors, and all 5 of them being new competitors to the ring. So we had Alana Jordan from DC Movie News. We had Dorian Parks, who's from Geeks of Color, but he also now works for Collider. So congratulations on getting that job with Collider. That is awesome. Can't wait to see what you're going to do for Collider in terms of all of their social media. We also have Jared Haibon, who he was on the Schmoedown live show a couple of times and nothing else. Taylor Robinson, who you can watch her reactions on her Finely Tailored YouTube channel. And Jamie Costa, he's an impressionist. He's hilarious. If you haven't seen any of his stuff, you're really missing out. He's very talented. But this match, I was really looking forward to. Obviously, I thought Taylor was going to do very well. I also thought Jared was going to do very well. And then the rest of them, I was like, I don't know, it could go either way. But I was excited about this one. Matt, what were your thoughts about this Innergeekdom 5-way match?
I thought this was a fun match. I really love Innergeekdom because minus Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, pretty much I'm a fan of everything in Innergeekdom. So it's fun to see a division of the Schmoedown that's focused on stuff that I know a lot. Listen, this match very early on was Jared's to lose. It's just what, all these competitors were newbies. So I give it up to all of them that, they're just finding their footing. And, when people in the comment sections are kind of jerks about some questions like, okay, just because she works on a DC Mood News show doesn't mean she can recall every DC thing. It just happens. Watch our reaction. I'm a Superman fan. I couldn't pull Richard Pryor from Superman 3. It happens. Overall was a fun match. It did bring up, and this is more just a Schmoedown history thing for me, of trying to figure out when they switched over the rules in 5-ways, because I went back, and because all I do is watch Schmoedown stuff, I watched the Innergeekdom match when Kalinowski first premiered with the old rules where you restarted each round with 0. And it was just that's just more funny. In the comments section, if you remember, please tell me, because I was sitting there watching this match going, if only these rules were in place, Kalinowski probably would have the belt right now. Listen, it was a fun match. It was great. Taylor's a friend of the channel. It was great seeing her. I'm a big fan of Jamie Costa. So seeing him broke my heart a little that he lost on a Back to the Future question. But it is what it is, and I hope he comes back to the league very soon, because he was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Jamie, maybe, I don't know if he's
too into
I don't
character.
think everyone should be a trivia person. I would never want to compete. I could do well in certain categories, but I don't think I have a wide enough variety of things to compete in that I would be strong enough to be in the Schmoedown. But being an interviewer or being on the desk, that's different. You can still be involved, but not answering the trivia, and I think Jamie would be someone who would be amazing to be at the desk. I think he would be someone who was just amazing at the desk. I would love it so much. I think that that's where he should, if he wants to come back and he wants to compete, I'll watch him. He's hilarious. But I think he would be a great personality at the desk. All right, Malcolm, maybe you can save our conversation. What did you think about this Innergeekdom match?
Yeah, well, this match was fun to watch. I mean, like, I'd heard of at least 3 of them, but yeah, I mean, it was like, I didn't expect Jared to be as dominant as he was, because I just, he was probably one of those, like, I don't know how much he knows about Innergeekdom, so I mean, I can't wait to find out. Like, Taylor, I know knows a bit, and to see her be in one of the final 3 there was really fun to see, because and it also brought up something, because I'm pretty sure this is the first 5-way in which everyone legitimately actually got knocked out in a match, because with the first one, like yeah, 3 of them did get knocked out, but it was because of Adam and Mark still being in there at the final 2. Then their knockouts didn't count for either one of them, so it was really interesting that they did that. So, but yeah, it was a fun match to watch, and not a lot of surprises, but we need more bibs on the desk.
Yes, that was an interesting. The fact that someone walks into their first match and leaves with a record of 1-0 with 4 knockouts. That's a thing that happened in this match. Now, and the other thing is he knocked out both Alana and Jamie before he even got to round 3. Like, that is a dominant performance. That is really scary, actually. And I know that Jared's been itching to compete. He's wanted to compete for a long time. So I figured that he would be good at trivia, but it's always hard to tell. And I thought Taylor did very well for her first match. I know she was very nervous, and that does affect you during these types of matches. But I did think that after she got out of round 1, she kind of found her footing in round 2. And once you get to round 3, there's literally nothing you can do if you come up to a question that you don't know the answer to. So I did think that she found her footing in round 2. The next time she plays, I think she'll do much better. So I'm looking forward to that. But I thought that this match was interesting, and I loved Bibs at the desk. I thought it was hilarious, and we didn't talk about this during the team title match, but Emma Fyfe at the desk I thought was very, very good. I love that they're changing up who is at these announcers' desks. I think it's just a really, really great idea. I love it. Yeah. So we're going to move on.
About the next desk in the next match.
Well, we're going to talk about the next desk. It's the same desk, technically, just with different people sitting behind it.
Yes.
So, but the Ben Bateman versus Dale the Dude match. This was a match that I really wasn't sure how it was going to go down, because Dale is definitely a personality, and he's a personality that you don't actually know if he knows trivia or not, but you know for sure it's going to be an entertaining match to watch, and that it was. And Ben, he's had his ups and downs. I think sometimes in teams he doesn't turn it on, and sometimes he has a very good game, so it's all coming down to just the game that he played. But, I thought that overall it was a good match to kind of debut on, so that's it's a tough match to debut on. If I'm not gonna lie, that's a tough person to debut on with Ben. But Malcolm, what did you think about this match, and how do you think Dale did in his debut to the Schmoedown?
Well, I mean, this was a match to say, but I mean, it was interesting because I didn't know what to expect going in. Like, I like Dale and he's cool, but I didn't know much about how much trivia he actually knows. And I mean, Ben, I know is as good as team action and all that. But I mean, I think, I do like Dale, but I think his character might have got him maybe let him down a little bit. Because he did stick in his character the whole time. Like, I know that's him, that's what he does, but I mean, he could have dialed it down a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it was a fun match.
Yeah, I think that you're probably a lot of the time when people are going for a really strong character, it can kind of backfire, like the match with Rotten Tomatoes where they were Boris and Natasha from Bullwinkle. Like, they stuck in character and it kind of backfired on them in that match. And I don't know how much of Dale's character is a character, but he does play up his personality a lot. And, maybe that had a bit to do with what happened. Matt, what were your thoughts on this one?
This is what you get for touching Andrew Guy's hair. Come on, Dale the Dude. Seriously. Character? Ben Bateman's got more character in his mirror than Dale the Dude's got going on. I mean, come on. This was a non-match for Ben Bateman. It's great that he's got, a win on his belt now, but why did Christian Fad stop giving Team Action these charity matches? Okay? I mean, seriously, just give them the main events, for crying out loud. Honestly, it's just getting tiresome to watch. Okay, now to stop my character, and that's not a slight at Dale or Natasha or anything. No, this was a fun match on it. Like, this was a really funny match. And sometimes, this is my thing. I love the nail biting, like 1 point difference going into the final round matches, but I also sometimes just like a really funny, fun match. And yeah, Dale the Dude, I think, is hilarious. Has anyone? I'm wondering if on the MTS page, has anyone actually gone through to see how many times he said "dude" in this match? Because that needs to happen.
Probably a lot. Yeah.
I mean, also, like, the post-match interviews with him and Jen, where she didn't think he had real scotch in his glass, and then she realized he did, was killing me. Also, Ben, like, I love Team Action because, like, they're such dicks, but that's their thing. I love Ben's new thing with the briefcase where he's pulling it out. He had his own name plaque with his nickname on it. He had a mirror with himself. I mean, it's just, I'm loving that Bateman in singles is starting to form his own character, and it's a very, like, egotistical character, but it totally works, and it's going to be interesting to see when hashtag Justice for Guy, Andrew Guy, gets out of prison finally. What it's going to be like when Andrew Guy is definitely going to go into singles to sort of see what Andrew Guy is going to do with his singles character. Is he going to go the ways Ben, or is he going to do, it was just a fun match. And again, as a Team Action fan, I was very happy to see Ben won, but Dale, I really want to see Dale come back. Maybe like Kristen was talking about with Jamie. Maybe Dale can come back and doesn't have to compete. It'd be fun to see Dale do post-match interviews, I think. I think he would be great for that. So, yeah, overall, just a fun match.
Yeah, I definitely, I mean, I agree with you. I do think that Dale wants to compete more. I think that there are categories that he could do very well in. He needs that Tremors category.
He needs Kevin Bacon.
Why isn't there a Tremors category? There's like a million Tremors movies at this point. Not all of them were theatrically released, but who cares? It's Tremors.
Okay.
Ask
about the TV show.
Yeah. Overall, I think that maybe. So yeah, when you're completely new to the Schmoedown, your first match is hardly ever going to be your best match, outside of a certain person that one Chris Clark loves. Besides him,
I'm sorry.
To too much?
No, it's not
Am
too
I
much,
supposed to
because I
cut
love how
that?
I just
No.
love how you're just like, you're very like, do I say baby honey and give Clark the satisfaction? Yeah, I'm not gonna do it.
No, I'm not going to. Well, it's an insult, so I wouldn't want to say his name anyway. Okay, we'll go back on track. Yeah, it's hard coming into the Schmoedown as a rookie and having your best match. Not everyone can do that. Very few people can do that. And I don't think that this is Dale's best showing. I think he has more to give. I think that now that he knows what to expect, he's going to come back and do better in his next match. And I absolutely want to see Dale versus Tom. They are pretty much the two biggest personalities in the Schmoedown right now, and I think it would be hilarious to see them
gotta work.
face each other. He
gotta
really
work.
doesn't.
It's gotta
I mean,
work to Tom.
he really doesn't.
What do you, Tom's
I
like?
think you could face Tom right now. I
Are
think
you saying
that's
you seen Tom's team's record? Come on, Dale, I love you, but you gotta work to Tom Dagnino.
no. I think he'll do
Yeah.
fine. So
He probably would, and that would be like Tom Dagnino versus Matt Nost or Josh McCouga times like 10 when it comes to hilarity.
pretty much. I mean, I think that I just want to watch this match because I do think that the back and forth would be some of the strongest they've ever had. Like, in my mind, there are two matches that I want because I think that they would be so entertaining to watch. The first one being this Dale versus Tom match. The second being Nick Mundy versus Brett Sheridan. Where's my Nick Mundy versus Brett Sheridan match? I want it still. Yeah. Please make it happen. I need it. Yeah. I need it.
You know whatever match we need also. You know whatever match we need? Hashtag Kearns for Indiana Russell match. I'll take anyone on.
No, well, I don't know about that one. But, you know, I do want this match because I think it's going to be hilarious.
It would be great.
The other thing that was talked about was Bateman on who he wants to play next. And he brought up Andreyko. Now, I'm not entirely sure why he wants to go against Andreyko. The records don't line up completely. And Andreyko's had a much longer run in singles so far, but it could be an interesting match. What do you guys think about this? Do you have any opinions on this Andreyko-Bateman match here?
Well, I mean, I got two opinions on this. The one is going to annoy a lot of viewers because it brings back the sunglasses, but I'll go with the nice one. Listen, Andreyko's a great competitor. He had an amazing first showing even though he lost, and since then, I don't know what it is. Like, I think Andreyko is a really strong competitor. I just think he hasn't had the luck of the Schmoedown on his side, which this game is, as much as it is what you know, it's also luck. I mean, we you know, Abe, who works on the street, he just gave us that Andreyko is 2-2 right now, and Bateman is 1-1. So it actually, records-wise, it can actually work. I also think in situations like this, maybe the records don't exactly line up, but I think personalities do. I think since Andreyko has made this face turn with Emma to go up against one of the biggest heels in Bateman would just be a great storyline match, personally. So I really want to see it happen.
Yeah, Malcolm, what do you think about this matchup? First of all, and then do you want to actually see it go down?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an interesting one. I mean, like, they're both kind of evenly matched. They've had about the same, like, they're both at 50% wins and losses. So I mean, it's definitely interesting. I mean, I feel like maybe Ben should get a few more other matches before he goes to Andreyko. I mean, like, Ben's good. I'm not saying he's not good. I'm just saying that Mark is better. It's better in a way, and Ben might pay for Ben to get a little bit, at least one more match experience in singles before he goes on to Mark, who's had about 4 match experience. So.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I would like Ben to have had 2 wins before he goes up against Andreyko, just because then they're a little bit more evenly matched in terms of their records. But given that they are both at 50% right now, besides the fact that Bateman has played half the matches that Andreyko has played, it's fine in my mind. I would prefer having one match, but we haven't seen Andreyko in singles in a long time, and I kind of would like to see him back in, because we always kind of forget that he's a pretty decent singles player. He's an incredible Innergeekdom player, but he really hasn't played in a long time. And we all remember from Free For All last year where he knocked out like the Table of Doom, and no one thought he would survive that table. So he's got some things that he's really strong at. I'm looking forward to seeing him play again. If this is how it has to happen, then I'm fine with that. But I do wish Ben all the best, because Andreyko can be, like, when he's on his game, he can be a scary competitor to go against, and he does have a lot of history. So it'll just be interesting. And our behind the scenes guy Abe wanted to let me know that the last time that Andreyko played in singles was against Rachel Cushing in the Ultimate Schmoedown, I would assume, US. I mean, because then all the matches are played in the US.
Sorry, international viewers.
Okay, so
terrible.
Shut up, Abe.
So we're actually going to show a quick clip at this point of an interview that we did with Christian Harloff. This was surrounding the top 10 match. And we're just going to do a quick clip of it, just showing kind of, him talking about what the decision was and why. And if you want to see the full clip, you'll be able to see that on the Patreon link as well. So
quite a while, a lot of debating in that studio went on. And it was just an unfortunate event that no one wanted.
Is there, all right, so I'll branch out from a few of those, but is there any chance we will ever see that discussion? Because I know a lot of people online have been asking for it. Is there any chance we will see at least part of that discussion? Because I did notice that you have never left that much in before the challenge screen comes up. We got quite a lot of it.
One of the reasons I have is I'm sick of people thinking there's some kind of conspiracy or we're trying to hide things behind the scenes, or there's this great thing, this conspiracy of the fact that we're not being honest. Like there's really only like one or two people that have this disease in their head that decide they want to do that kind of stuff. But this is something that I was like, I'm showing the whole thing. There was a lot more in there that it was essentially around the same type of stuff, but it was just Thad, myself. I can't remember if Sam Levine was involved. There was a lot. Brienne might have more of it, and I think she discussed putting it on the behind-the-scenes video for Patreon. I think I'd have to confirm that with her. I was really kind of drowning in all of it, so I wasn't really aware of who was looking at it. I wanted the key points in there when I talked to Aaron, because the original cut of the match, when I saw it the other day, didn't have most of what you saw. It just had it had I think it was Roka writing it down. I said, I'm going to give them the 3 points, and then the Patriots said challenge, and then it came back. The original cut didn't have any arguing whatsoever, and I thought the audience needed to see it.
All right. Thank you for that wonderful interview. Like I said, if you want to see the full interview, it is available on the Movie Trivia Schmoedown Patreon page. It is free for everyone. There is no price tier on it. You can go on there and find the video. Anyone can watch it. If you haven't seen the Patreon page before, you should be able to find a link on the Movie Trivia Schmoedown Facebook page. It's very good, actually. There's a lot of cool things on there. If you're not giving to it, I would not suggest that you do it, but there's a lot of cool things on there if you do want to get some of those specialized tiers. A new behind the scenes was released today, and I really enjoyed it. I think they're doing a lot of cool things on there. So what we're going to do now is we're looking forward into this next week. The best way to start that out is to have our very own Matt Kearns give us our fantasy update for the week. So Matt, what does our fantasy look like right now?
Where's the freaking updates? They're right here, okay? I'm Matt, Action Army, representing here today. I got rid of the old fantasy update guy. You know why? He was bottom line a loser. Am I doing Tom Dagnino in action? Shut up! I don't care. In first place, in take 3, we have Team Corgis with 123 points. Ooh, good for you. Sorry, Nostrum Roca couldn't get you more last week. In second place, we have the Penguins, Chris Clark, with 68 points. That's 2 numbers off from my favorite number of all time. In third place, we have Immortan Jen Schmoboys with 62 points. You know what? I'm really happy. Jen, sadly, she was in like last place for a while, so I'm happy to see her be in third place. That is awesome. But she's got Ben the Boss Bateman on her team, so she's a smart cookie there. In fourth place, we have Tiny Carrots, Evan DeGraff with 56 points. Whatever. In fifth place, we have me with the Ode Alliance with 54 points. Is it annoying I'm only 2 points behind Evan? Yeah, sure. In sixth place, we have Abe Flores with Super Epic X Team with 42 points. And finally, we have Jacob London in last place with That Movie Geek with only 27 points. Again, it's very early on in the season. A lot of competitors haven't gotten a chance to shine yet, because where's the freaking matches? It's only the beginning of the season. That's where the freaking matches are. Now we go on to take 3 trades. This week, there were no freaking trades. No one did anything. We were all on vacation last week. I'm Matt, Action Army, representing with your fantasy updates. If you want to get your own lead together, go to fantasymts.com for all your freaking movie trivia Schmoedown trapped in needs. Back to you losers.
Thanks. Well, that was something.
That was. I should probably do that every week.
Sure. So, I just like hearing that I'm winning every week. That makes
oh my god, yeah, I'm sorry. Kristen, did you pay some hypnotist or something to look into the future of the Schmoedown?
I just picked people I liked. I was like, well, someone picked Rachel, and I'm like, well, then I'm going to pick Sam. Sorry. And then no one picked Roca, and then no one picked Nost, and then it just all happened.
Yeah, so you went the reverse Evan DeGraff way of you picked people you wanted.
Yeah, and Evan was like, well, I want Mark Ellis, so I'm going
I'll pick Robert Meyer Burnett.
Pick Robert Meyer Burnett.
We're going to cut this, of course, but can we not get off this? His logic made no sense. I want Mark Ellis, so I'm going to pick Robert Meyer Burnett and Steve Howard. And then, shocker, someone picked Mark Ellis before I had a chance.
It was one of the funniest things. So that's fantasymts.com. We do love our fantasy. It keeps us more invested in the Schmoedown because we all want to win. I don't know what we're winning at the end of this thing, but
yeah, what do we win? FantasyMTS.com, bro. Your fantasy.
A ton of drugs.
Okay, so all right, so now moving on to the upcoming matches for this week. So this week, starting out the week, we do have the Shire Wolves versus the Lion's Den match. This is another one of those matches that people have been really, really, really looking forward to, me in particular. And one of the reasons is because we've been trying to figure out who Rachel Cushing would be teamed with since the middle of last year. It's been a long time, and I cannot wait to see Clark Wolf and Rachel Cushing completely annihilate everybody with their amazing knowledge. Matt, what do you think? I know this is going to be a hard match for you.
Oh.
But
oh yeah. Listen, it's going to be a hard match for a couple reasons. First reason is, of course, Clark Wolf and Rachel Cushing are playing one of my favorite people in the Schmoedown world, which is Tom Dagnino. That's going to be hard, but it's going to be really funny. It's all going to be hard because I love Rachel, I love Clark, but it just means Wolves and Steelers are coming back. Unless maybe they lose. Maybe Tom beats them so bad that Clark goes, I love you, Rachel, and then she goes back to Mark, maybe? Go Shire Wolves, but go to Malcolm.
Okay, so we're gonna give Matt a moment. And Malcolm, What are you looking forward to this team match?
Yeah, well, like this match is an interesting one because both Clark Wolf and Rach Cush are some of my favourite competitors, and see them teamed up in what will be a dominant one is going to be interesting. And what I would like to see, which might make Matt really happy, is if Mark turns out to be the manager as well. So that could be a thing. We don't know.
It's probably not going to be, considering they're an Emma faction.
Well, yeah, most likely not because they're Emma's faction. But I mean, Mark could still come out with them too, so we don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a connection to both of them technically, but I really want this match to be just a complete domination because I think it would be hilarious. You know what?
Whoa!
It depends on what Tom lands on.
Don't treat Rachel and Clark like that just because you want Tom to dominate.
You know what? Tom can do very well in trivia. It just depends on what he lands on.
Flying Arnie in round 2.
I think people underestimate Ken. I think that he's a lot better than people assume he is. However, I think that this matchup between Rachel and Clark is one of the smartest matchups because the stuff that Rachel knows is very different from the stuff Clark knows. Because Clark is very in tune with that horror thriller element of the Schmoedown, and Rachel isn't as much in terms of just that knowledge base. Rachel also has other things that she's very strong about with Innergeekdom that Clark is not as strong with. Not to say that they both aren't good at either of those categories. It's just those aren't their strengths. Their strengths very much complement each other very, very well. And they're both two people who have done very well in both teams and singles. And so I think that this is just a really intelligent matchup, outside of the fact that I love that two of the strongest female competitors in the entire Schmoedown are teaming up to become hopefully the team of the season. I think that this is just a very smart matchup, and I love I cannot wait to see how their characters play off each other, because I think that's going to be very interesting as well. Tom and Ken, yep, should be good.
Boy, that's all you gotta say.
I hope you guys
I'm sorry.
well.
Can we just? I'm sorry, Christian. Whatever tier you want me to pay on your Patreon to just give me Ken and Tom's promo now, I'll pay it. I just need to see what they. I'm assuming if anyone here has ever watched Awesome-tacular, you remember when Jeremy and Ken used to do Movie Boys? I'm feeling like it's gonna be that, except with Tom, so it's not gonna be as nice.
Yep, the smack talk should be pretty entertaining. I'm just gonna leave it there, and I do think that they'll do better than people are expecting them to do, but I don't think they'll win. Nothing against them. We also have a match between two relative newcomers here. We have Ethan Irwin, and then we have Yolanda Machado. So, if you don't know who these people are,
Machado.
Well,
fuck you, Abe.
Do you want me to say it again?
Please, Machado.
Machado.
Fine. All right, so the second match of the week we have between two relative newcomers. We have Ethan Irwin and Yolanda Machado, and they are people that you might not be familiar with at this point, but you should be. Yolanda, she's actually, you can find her at Sassy Mama in LA. She's kind of like a movie blogger. She does a lot of things, and she's really, really interesting. If you haven't checked her stuff out, she is very entertaining to just watch her life and read about it and everything. And she lives up to her name. We'll just put it that way. She is very sassy, and I love it. And I cannot wait to see her come into the Schmoedown and hopefully do very well. On the other hand, you have Ethan Irwin. Now, this guy, you definitely should know who this guy is. He is a producer and a writer. So he's produced some really interesting films. He produced The Nice Guys. He was production on The Book of Eli and, the Sherlock Holmes Game of Shadows movie. And also on Suburbicon, which wasn't so great, but that's okay. It's not his fault. But he's got a lot of knowledge from the inside of the industry and from a different perspective than we've kind of seen thus far. So it's going to be very interesting to see what he does in the Schmoedown. Malcolm, I don't know if you're familiar with either of these individuals, but are you excited about this match? And what do you think we can expect from it?
I'm always excited to see new blood in the Schmoedown. I mean, I have no idea who they are. I mean, I would laugh if, and I mean, I dare say it's not going to happen, but I'd laugh if one of the questions is who was the producer on the Nice Guys. I mean, it'll be one of those moments that everyone just laughs. I mean, from the way you described Yolanda, she could possibly be part of Jay's faction. We don't know.
That actually wouldn't be too bad. I could see that. Her personality wise, from what I gather, is very much more on the like nice sassy, but I bet she could probably pull off like a heel sassy if she wanted to. That could be pretty interesting. Matt, what do you think about this upcoming match?
I don't know who either one of these competitors are, but then again, if you were someone who wasn't part of Schmoeville or didn't read schmoesnow.com, you had no clue who Rachel Cushing was last season, and we saw what happened with Rachel. Sometimes it's fun to have unknown competitors come to the Schmoedown, and it's going to be fun for me watching this match because it's literally the first match in a long time where I have no stakes going in. There's no one who I like, who I really want to win, or, it's just going to be fun to see new competitors get into Schmoedown. It's nice to see the Schmoedown expanding to movie bloggers and to people in the industry in a different way, because we have a lot of movie news reporters in the Schmoedown, but we don't really have, save for like a Burnett or something, someone who's actually worked more in the industry. So yeah, this is really cool. So I'm looking forward to their debuts.
Yeah, and Ethan has actually been on the Schmoesnow show before, back in the day, like 2011. So if if you watched a lot of those old school Schmoesnow shows, then you might actually know who he is. But I think that this could be a very interesting match. It's always good to get new people in there, but it's also good to get people who are different in terms of just their backgrounds. So I think that these people both are broadening the scope of what the Schmoedown is and who the competitors are, and I love that. I think that's a great thing, and I cannot wait to see this match. It'll be great to see how they perform, because I think that they both could do very well. And that's pretty much all we have for this week in the Schmoedown. So thanks all for watching. We really appreciate everyone supporting us here on the Reactors Summit, and we love doing these videos. I think they're just fun to talk about the Schmoedown in any aspect, but I do love breaking it down with my excellent panel. Matt, where can people find you on the internet?
You guys, as always, can find me at Kearns_Matthew on Twitter, MattMovies611 on YouTube, and right here hosting Second Look. The episode for this month is, of course, on Armageddon, and believe me, you don't want to miss a thing. And you can always find me every week on the summit doing the fantasy updates. Don't worry, I promise next week I'll go back to being myself.
You can be whoever you want to be. Be who you want to be, people. Dream big. Malcolm, where can people find you on the internet?
That's the end in the summit for sure.
Before Malcolm plugs himself, we'll just end there.
No, I mean, like, we need to edit it. Like, we need to do a Chris Nolan memento re-edit where it's like, goes to, and then we just go to Kristen, just be with some nice inspirational music. You could be whoever you want to be. And then it's just like, I think you just got some images of like Mark Riley, Mark Ellis, Rachel Cushing. It's just like the Schmoedown Reactor Summit.
Okay.
Get on it. Sorry.
Malcolm, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter, Stardust, and Letterboxd at Malcor. Find me on my own personal YouTube channel, Malcolm's Middle Earth Media, and I'm also on various Take 3 stuff.
perfect. And you can find me at Smith_K10, the number, not the word, on Twitter, Instagram, and Stardust. You can also find me right here on Take 3 for the moment, hosting the summits, and also on, you know, all of our wonderful Schmoedown reactions, as well as hosting the live watch-alongs, which typically go up on Saturdays when I'm not too tired to do them. And yeah, that's all we got. We want to thank you all for watching. Let us know in the comments what you guys thought about the past 2 weeks of the Schmoedown, and we will see you all in the next one. Take care.
Wild berries.